So the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth demo just got a pretty awesome update the other day that adds to what we already got to experience when the first part of the demo came out earlier in Feb. And today I just wanted to quickly break it all down for you guys and even throw in some quick tips at the end as well, because there is a section that is surprisingly difficult in this update to the demo. Now, firstly, if you are looking to go into Rebirth completely blind, what I will say is click away from this video because this is set a few hours into the story. And although I'll be honest, it doesn't really spoil anything at all in this section of the demo, I thought I would just let you guys know, just in case you do want to know absolutely nothing about the game. So consider that your final warning. But like I said, there's really nothing spoilery in this demo, at least not this section anyway. Now, the main difference from the first section of the demo is that we now get to play as Cloud, Barret, Tifa, Aerith, and Red, whereas obviously in the first section, we're only able to play as Cloud and Sephiroth. And we're also in a whole new region of the map, that being the Junon region. And I have just done a full map breakdown if you guys want to go and check that out for even more details on the map, breaking down every single thing you need to know. So that might provide a little bit more context as to where Junon is and why it is very important. Now, there is a quote from Square Enix about the demo. They say, set several hours into the main storyline, this special preview made specifically for the demo features a small piece of the massive in-game world that players can freely explore. Sniff out treasures with a trusty Chocobo steed, craft valuable items with the new transmuter, bravely embark on thrilling combat assignment missions, and more. Now, it is a pretty small section of the game, I would say. It's honestly only like less than an hour. So obviously the first part of the demo was probably about 2 hours, whereas this is more probably, I guess, 30 to 45 minutes, depending on how long it takes you. It took me a little bit more, to be honest, but I was kind of just exploring as much as I possibly could. But on top of the new stuff that we get in the demo in terms of the new region and the characters and stuff like that, compared to the original section of the demo, one of the main updates as well is that it does come with some small adjustments and fixes too, most notably to do with the graphics when you're running performance mode over graphics mode. Now, there were a lot of complaints about that from that early section of the demo, but they have clearly done some work on that and are clearly listening to feedback from the players, and this will obviously make its way into the main game as well. So it's not just like they've fixed the demo and then the main game's going to be having those same issues. This stuff will be obviously patched into the full game as well. Now, before we go any further, if you guys are new to the channel and you are interested in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, be sure to hit that subscribe button. There is plenty more content on the way, both next week in the lead up to launch, as well as plenty of tips and tricks content as well once the game is finally here. Now, speaking of tips and tricks, like I said, I'm going to give you guys some very quick tips on the actual gameplay of the demo as well, because like I said, it is actually harder than it felt in the first part of the demo, probably due to it being much later on in the story. Now, another warning here, this is going to be showing off a boss fight. So again, if you just don't want to see anything to do with this game, I'm not sure why you're still here in the first place, but that's your final warning. There is a boss fight that will be shown in this section. It's not really spoilery, to be honest. It's not some big character or anything like that, but like I said, just wanted to be completely transparent about spoilers because I don't want to spoil the game for any of you guys. Now, this boss fight that I'm talking about is the Terror of the Deep, and boy, is this actually pretty damn hard, at least compared to the boss fight that we got in the first section of the demo. It wasn't anything crazy difficult. It only took me, I think, 2 to 3 attempts, but it definitely felt like a step up compared to that first section. Now, one of the first tips that I'll give you guys in terms of this boss fight, if you are struggling, is that you should obviously be changing your party. You start off with Cloud, Aerith, and Red. What I would recommend doing though is swapping out Red for Barret. To do that, all you need to do is go into the menu and just open up the combat settings, and from there you can change the party that you choose. And obviously bringing Barret and Aerith will be very, very handy for this boss fight. Now, Cloud is still really solid when it comes to dealing some, high damage, but that is mostly once the stagger has actually happened on the Terror, and therefore you will still need some range while it's airborne, because for most of the boss fight, this boss is just airborne, and it makes it very hard for Cloud to really do anything. And even when it is on the ground, he doesn't really deal that much damage to it, at least not until it's staggered. So I personally left Cloud in there. Now, you could probably replace Cloud as well, to be completely honest, but for me, I ran Cloud, Barret, and Aerith, like I said. And where Aerith and Barret both come in is obviously their range, like I talked about. Aerith is definitely the best to use as often as you can. Magic attacks seem to work really well here, and Cloud even says it himself when you're attacking as him. He literally says, shit better off with magic. So that was kind of the first hint to start using Aerith for me, and she definitely does very, very well, not only having that range, but obviously the magic attacks as well. Now, Barrett is also much the same. He's got the little minigun on his arm, and that obviously comes in very, very clutch. And both Aerith and Barrett have some really good abilities as well that will deal a lot of damage, and most of the time have really solid range as well. Now, something to keep an eye out for is that occasionally the Terror will hit you with a move called Water Cell, where it will cause you to be bound, and that's obviously not what you guys want. Now, it's definitely worth attacking the Water Cell with your other characters rather than kind of just still focusing on the Terror. So let's say you're playing as Cloud and you get bound by that Water Cell. You don't want to just switch to Aerith and keep attacking the Terror. You want to free Cloud from that Water Cell, and so you just want to kind of switch. Obviously, it depends on the exact situation, but most of the time you want to switch to the Water Cell and take that out so that Cloud can be free, because you obviously need all of the help you can get. Because, for example, if you're playing as Aerith and she's low health and Cloud is bound, well, let's just say the Terror takes you out, then you're only just really left with Barrett, and that is not going to end very well, just having one playable character. So yeah, be sure to take out those Water Cells when you get a chance. It will definitely save you in the long run. It's also worth keeping in mind that you're not just spamming square. You want to be using a combo of abilities, synergy attacks if you can use them, and especially the limit breaks as well. This is by far the most effective way at taking out not only this boss, but just any boss in general, and to be honest, really any enemy in the game. Once you guys do stagger the Terror of the Deep, you definitely want to absolutely send it, because this is where most of your damage is going to come from. It's absolutely crucial to winning the fight. So once you do get that stagger, be sure to send it. Be sure to try and use a bunch of abilities and stuff like that, because that is where the majority of your damage dealing will come from. But hopefully that helps any of you guys who were struggling. I'm not going to lie, in my first attempt I got absolutely slapped, and so if you guys are struggling, hopefully that helps you guys out. But there is plenty more content like this on the way once the game has fully launched as well, so be sure to keep your eyes peeled. But with that being said, thank you all very much for watching. You guys have a great day, and I'll catch you all in the next one.